International wọ́n ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ látìgbà tí wọ́n ti ń bàbọ̀ wọn ò fìgbà kan tẹ́rì o wọ́n ti wá ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé bẹ̀bẹ̀ dé Podium Cinema ni wọ́n tún gbé dé Podium Cinema lórí YouTube ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn kẹ́ ẹ subscribe ibẹ̀ lẹ́tì mọ̀ wọ àwọn àjá àbálẹ̀ fíìmù ẹ̀dọ̀kí fíìmù tó léfò gan tààrà Podium Cinema mo bẹ́rí fún yín fíìmù mẹ́sàn-án ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n kó jáde o àwọn gbàǹkangbè fíìmù èkíní májẹ̀mú ẹ̀gbọ́n èkejì my wet ẹ̀kẹta ọmọ ẹni ẹ̀kẹrin àlàmú èkó ẹ̀karùn-ún àìmọ̀ ṣẹ̀wárí pé nǹkan kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ràgbó ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ eléyìí lẹ́ti kẹjù èdè Yorùbá ni wọ́n fi ṣe àwọn fíìmù yìí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà sẹ́ẹ̀kẹsàn-án èdè òyìnbó ni wọ́n kọ ẹ̀kẹfà tẹ́mà èkeje the casting ẹ̀kẹjọ M1 the detective ẹ̀kẹsàn 100 M1 the detective at 100 orí síríìsì lẹ́fì máa wò ó ìyẹn dàgbéléwò nìyẹn Podium International Podium Cinema ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn lórí YouTube wọ́n wà lórí Facebook wọ́n wà lórí Instagram Podium Cinema ó ti dọbẹ̀ ẹ subscribe.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to our viewers again today. I'm your regular host on Matters Arising, and I have my co-host, Dr. Sheyi Adesanya, and Mr. Alex Oluwole Ajala, who would be helping in dissecting today's issue. So we're actually looking at what's been trending for some few days now, which is flood. We've had reports that over 27 out of the 36 states in Nigeria are flooded as a result of the dam being opened, the Lake Do Dam being opened in Cameroon. So we'll be dissecting that. We would also be looking at the security situation vis-a-vis what T.Y. Danjuma said. He said that 4 years ago. It's not abated and it's still going on. So we'll be bringing that to you. If time permits, we might look at the oil theft, but I don't think it's a topic we'll be able to cover today. So we'll see how our time goes. Let me just invite Dr. Sheyi. Maybe you can do a little introduction and say hello to the viewers.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Sheyi Adesanya. It's a pleasure being with you again tonight on the program. We hope we enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I just welcome Mr. Alex Oluwole Ajala to say hello to our viewers?
I'm happy to be with you again tonight, and I hope whatever contribution we're able to put together will be of immense assistance to you, the update of your knowledge about the issues at stake and under the Matters Arising platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be looking straight into the flooding that is ongoing, ravaging Nigeria as it is. Some people say it's raining season. I know the toughest of raining season in Nigeria is between March and September, when we have a break around October, and then we have light rain, not massive rain, between October, and it dries out in November, and we get the Harmattan season in November, December to come early January. But quite astonishingly, whether it's the effect of climate change, we are witnessing I don't want to say the river bursting its banks, but we know that it's a dam in Cameroon that's been let loose. So
that alone is not the major cause. That is localized to the area where you have the watershed, of the dam, which finally flows into River Benue, and the Kambila Plateau area that new dams are now being built at a snail pace. That I would say.
I,
So
I, I,
the
you,
control of that dam, which I know of from a long time, was that Nigeria should have built at least a series of other dams, just like the Tennessee Valley River Authority did to control the river flow in that watershed. So when you're talking of dams, you're looking at watershed areas and how you are going to control it. Either you build levees and embankments and all that to make sure that the water runs through a particular channel. Mississippi is an example. It could have changed its course, not even to flow to New Orleans, if they had not built the embankments north of the river, just outside um, um, New
is it the
Orleans.
Mississippi? Okay,
Yeah,
New Orleans. Yeah,
okay, New
I,
Orleans.
I,
So,
I will
as
tell.
coming to Nigeria,
Yeah,
because that is the field that I studied.
yeah.
Okay. We have very many river basins
Courses.
and courses, and then the watersheds, like the Onyo Dam, which is constantly flooding Lagos at any time because it's filling up regularly. And that is causing a lot of mayhem. As at today, somebody who was supposed to go from Ota to Lagos to pick up a generator, there is no vehicle passing through to Lagos.
Yeah,
So if you
it's a
look at the
terrible
map of
situation.
Nigeria, it's all over. There are so many flooding and also the effect of on concerned development of our land. We are on the same belt with Taiwan and Indonesia and all that. They have very heavy rain, even more than us.
And
But they have
they
been
even
able to
channel theirs into rice farming.
yes, because they do what you call terrace farming. So the rain falls, it goes around the hill and west this thing. We don't do that. And that's one of the lies that Zika would say, lied to law in the 50s, that he will not have enough land to put his people because of gully erosion. The gully erosion that could have been managed to even
Prevented.
produce more food for their people. You see, all these things are linked in the and I don't care attitude. The federal government said we have a river basin authority all over the place. Where are they working? No. I went to a farm in Oshobo and I saw a river flowing that I said we could dam this river or even channelize it to create a pond on one side and allow it to flow to the other part. And even apart from using it to irrigate, we could do fishing, fish
Fish
stocking
pond.
there, fish stocking there because it's a continuous flow. The man said, oh, it belongs to federal government. So the federal government does not want us to eat.
Yeah,
They
no,
don't want us to develop.
I will come to that issue of federal government because I'm beginning to think that a lot of our state governors and the House of Rep member or state assembly members are just really very lazy.
They are scared, not lazy. They are
Yeah, no.
scared to come to Buhari.
Apart from being scared, which will come into in the issue of security, because when Hisba police, it's not. I'll just shelve that topic for now, and let's focus on the dam issue and the flooding. Now,
Okay.
when I was passing Lokoja in 2012, and I saw where the River Niger and the River Benue touched.
Yeah.
And looking flank on the River Niger side in Lokoja, I could see that majority of those houses were already being overwhelmed by the river. A sensible government would have been thinking, how do we prevent a future catastrophe? Because majority of the people you could even see, it feels like majority of their lives they're living under the bridge on the water. Now, unfortunately for us, when the Lake Du Dam was built in the 70s, and they agreed in 2013 for Nigeria to build series of dams, which like you said, Baba Jala could go into providing irrigation. We could channel those water into rice farming. We could what's it called?
Electricity.
Electricity that is a
I
very
mean,
big problem.
recreational lakes, artificial lakes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to invite Dr. Sheyi. Now that at least the series of agencies are reporting that 600 people have died, millions have already been displaced. In one of the reports, I even heard that the house of the former president, Goodluck, was overwhelmed with water. I'm not going to say where did the problem start from now. As it is now, what are the options of the ordinary, will I say Nigerians, ordinary man
People,
who is
yeah.
suffering the brunt of this? What choices do they have, Dr. Sheyi?
Thank you, Mr. K. Let me start. Baba Jala has given a lot of technicalities of building a dam and all that went into it in the days of Zika Awolowo and the rest. Before I go to answer the question, I just want to say this. Let me reiterate what has just been said. That the some of the purposes of having dams. One is to be able to power have power, hydroelectric power. It serves irrigation purposes, and of course to prevent flooding. And another one is to serve recreational purposes. When we look at all of this, the question I want to ask is, has the Nigerian government been able to tap into any of this? Has the Nigerian government been able to utilize any of its dam or the dams that we have? Because I try to look at how many dams we have in the country, and I'm not sure if this figure is correct. I can see 323 dams, including large, medium, and small, scale, dams. So I am asking a question: has the government been able to utilize the dams that we have to give power? Has it been able to utilize the dams that we have for recreational purposes, which could generate a lot of income to our people? I mean, to the government, and of course, to make lives better for the people and other, functions that it's supposed to serve, irrigational purposes.
Fishing.
Our people are still hungry. There are a lot of places that they cannot farm because they tell you there's no water. Yet we have a lot of dams, over 300. Anyway, be that as it may, let me go to your question. Where does it leave our people? While I was trying to ruminate over this topic, the first thing that comes to me was, as an environmental scientist, that we have disasters all around. There are natural disasters and there are man-made disasters. While the world, is trying to grapple with natural disasters, we are still at the level of trying to manage man-made disasters. Why? Because we created this. Like you said in your intro, there was an agreement between the Cameroonian government and the Nigerian government, for the Nigerian government to, build a dam that, will serve as a receiving that will complement that of the Cameroon. But what we have, all of this bring to fore questions about the crop of leadership that we have in that country called Nigeria. Now, to the question, where does it leave our people? Looking at some of these videos makes, the heart bleeds. I was discussing with the director, a couple of minutes ago, and she was like, where will those people go to? Where are they going to? What is their destination? And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that I watched another video where I saw the house of Senator Dino Melaye in Kogi State, where someone was practically swimming inside his living room. And like you just said, now even the home of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, I mean, he is also at the mercy of this flood. So you see, I think we need to come to a level where
maybe we should just play some of the video.
Leadership.
If our producer is available, we can just play one of the videos before we come to the Lake Do Dam. Maybe any of the videos where we've got a series of videos that we want our viewers to see.
Okay, you want to video? This is the situation, oh. It's not that easy. Oh my God. We are all struggling to cross over to Auda. Jesus. The water level. This is the water level between Bayelsa and Auda. Oh God. Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Oh, look at it. This is a terrible situation. Hold the rope. This is the situation of tents. God, show us mercy. Well, men and brethren, this is the situation, the current situation.
Yeah, we've got series of there's one of the video that's very tragic. A bike man actually. Bike man was actually carried away in this water. Look his bike anyway. We don't know whether he survived or not. Some chances of that. His chances of survival. Because if you don't build a house, when the sun is shining, you definitely will leave open when it's raining. So like the second video, we could see that the bike man was thinking he could power through the water.
Yeah, I think the crowd also made it not to concentrate. You see, that's the problem. In fact, when we are talking about the Yoruba Sovereign Nation campaign, the way we do things is not the right way. Look at what happened in Bayelsa Hoada. They got people who could swim to put ropes across a wide stretch. It's like a
lifeline.
bicycle. If you notice it, it goes that way, and that way. So people hold it to go across. It's not that where the bike man was too deep. All that happened was that he slipped. And because people were making noise, he was trying to look back at the people he carried. They had gone down. There was no need. If people were not shouting, we have got across. It was almost a little bit up. You see, there's one basic problem we are facing in our country. Our reaction to events is very poor. We do not look at how do we solve it? All those people at the edge that were shouting, they should have at least thought, let us run down the river bank towards the other side where he was going.
And holding.
Instead, they stood in one place and shouting. You see, we really need the education, what we call, what I was trained in when we were young in the school, manual warfare practices, how to survive a flooding river. All you do is to just allow yourself to, you control your flow with the river until you get to the other bank. You don't struggle. If you do, you get sucked in. All those things were to us in school, in Awolowo's Yoruba schools in those days. But where are we now? Although unfortunately, the same Awolowo did not see the fact that there was not a reason for a Nigeria to exist.
It's a shame because if we look at like you rightly pointed out, the reaction of the crowd. Sometimes a lot of people say if you follow the crowd, you're more likely to miss your way.
Exactly.
And which is what is happening in the Yoruba Nation campaign. Quite a lot of people now are following the crowd because what is easier to do is to join the bandwagon of politicians and say, yes, let's go with the politicians. This is the season of politics. But I tell people that is the wrong that's the wrong
choice,
wrong medicine for a problem that is deep. So they are just trying to solve the symptoms rather than focusing on the real issue. Now, having said that, I know Yoruba states are not so much affected like in the north.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking compared to the north.
The flooding.
The flooding.
It's not recorded because my farmland cannot be assessed now because there's no vehicle that can go through because of flooding.
Is that due to the flooding or due to bad roads?
Flooding and bad roads.
Yeah.
Both. So you see, and then there's crops. You cannot have
affected.
I think that's what my mom's granddaughter called me for. I'll call her later about the station. I was asking them to report to me what has happened. Has the water gone down? Are they able to go to the farm? Unfortunately, the road that was supposed to have been macadamized or tarred in terms of the simple man's language, about 8 years ago, there was not a single tar on it, and the money had been issued out at Abuja.
Now, I will ask a simple question. In terms of short-term, relief measures, I know once you have flooding, you should be thinking of flood defenses putting up barrier, putting up wedges and things to stop the dam. Now, I would say hell has been let loose. Lake Do, we'll come to the video of Lake Do, but hell has been let loose. I don't know whether to say Nigeria as a whole, because it's a collective problem. What can the people do in a short term to see that maybe they can divert that water along the Niger straight to the sea, or they can channel that water into something else, irrigation or temporary, or do we just wait and allow the water to seep through the ground for days before people come out, assuming more flooding are not on the way? Maybe Dr. Adesanya can help us on that.
Well, I think the magnitude of this flooding that we have now is beyond what ordinary citizens can, prefer solution to. We have, disaster management, agencies all around at the state level as well as federal level. If they could not prepare for this, I wonder what they will be able to do, because this is not the first time this is happening. And I would have expected that before now, they should have put in place measures that will help, ameliorate the effect of, disaster like this. And like I said, this is not a natural disaster. It is a man-made disaster, and that is because we have a government that is not responsive, a government that is highly irresponsible, and that is what we are seeing now. So for me, I don't think that the people have the solution to this. I believe strongly that the only powers that has solution to it should be the government, and I'm not sure if they really have any solution to it.
Baba Jalla, what's your take on
Well,
this?
I have been in touch with a lot of people, particularly on the issue of this river basin and watersheds and the distributive effect over the years. There was a professor in the University of Lagos I got in touch with who I was told had a very deep knowledge of the locations of all these things. All I wanted to do, if she did got in touch with me, was to get these documents and calculate the amount of periodicity and water flow in all these watersheds, and how it can be managed to produce electricity either by dams or diverted ponds on the sides, which is also applicable, and then saving the environment. But I didn't get any response. The last time I spoke to her, she was in Dubai enjoying herself. So, but I am so much concerned about this water problem, because perchance, from my study of dam building and dam enhancing and dam restoring, my able colleague, Dr. Sheyi Adesanya, had mentioned that we have over 320 or something dams.
323.
323. All this include the waterworks that the white men built. They built so many in almost every province and division. Most of them are rotting. Most of them are silted up. The one in Owo, which I happen to know very well, I know most of them anyway. I've taught them each time I go to Nigeria to see the level of degradation of such places. They are no longer supplying water to the towns because they are silted up, they are not maintained. Yet, in the past, you don't have, you see, you need to do what you call controlled flow of rivers through your land. And that's what the Americans have done effectively, and even in Europe and all other parts of the world. Our people in government know this. Most of us have studied the Tennessee River Valley, the Grand Coulee, the Hoover Dam, the Inga Dam in Brazil, one of the largest, or the Three Gorges. Even last time there was a situation whereby the Three Gorges was threatened by heavy water descent. What did they do? They opened all the sluice gates, and then the other channel where they carry the boats up to relieve the dam of excess water downstream. The Cameroonians have told our government that, look, you could build at least 3 or more dams on the stretch of this river that is flowing into your country, so as to control the excess water that we will be releasing to you. Even Ashejire Dam, I've surveyed that too. Downriver from Ashejire, we could have built another dam, maybe at least 2 or 3 more small dams to contain this water for the purpose those things are meant for agriculture, for electricity, for fishing, for recreation, boating. All these things we are losing in Africa, not only Nigeria. So, and there is no government agency. They just say we have river basin authorities of Nigeria. All right. And sometime last year or so, Buhari was it brought out a rule that nobody should do anything up to about 6 meters to the edge of any river.
So I don't know why they bring such a draconian law which does not seem.
Let me tell you,
any solution.
All they are trying to do is for their ruga. They want to take over other people's land. It's in the history of peoples of the world. When a group of people are covetous of other people's land, of which some of our leaders have had, if you don't do something about it, before you know it, you'll be driven out of your own ancestral land.
Maybe our producer can help us with somebody did a very good about the Ledu Dam and what we failed to do with regards what's really happened, so that people can understand. I know Dr. Sheyi said we have 323 dams, and Baba Jala, you've said majority of them are waterworks. In my house,
dam that is causing this menace in Nigeria is a Cameroonian dam that is called Legdo. It was built in 1977. Okay, and there is an agreement they had with Nigeria when they were building this dam that Nigeria is also going to build a counterpart dam that is called Dasin Hausa Dam. Okay, this dam we are supposed to be 2.5 size of this Lado Dam
that Cameroon has built already.
Yes, that Cameroon has built. Now, this dam that was supposed to be built by Nigerian government, we are supposed to be the one cushioning effect dam
of the one that
Cameroon has. And now this Cameroonian dam provides irrigation to at least over close to 15,000 irrigation farm. Okay, and these our own dam also supposed to provide irrigation to states like Adamawa, Benue, and all
around that region.
Yes, and also provide about 300 megawatts of electricity to that environment. But you see, Nigerian government, being a government that does not care about the life of the citizens, refused to complete this dam, started and abandoned it. And to this effect, our people are being flooded. When Cameroon, and in 2013, Nigeria entered into another another agreement with Cameroon that at least before you open this dam, because when there is
This was
an
after it
overflow,
was opened in 2012, I think, the first flood.
Yes, in 2013 they had an agreement. And this agreement is that when the Cameroon dam is full and wants to release the excesses, that they should inform Nigerian government. For me, this is an irresponsibility, as long as I'm concerned, that the government chooses for Cameroonian government to inform them of when to open a dam and to prepare for the consequences, instead of building and completing a dam that they started since 1981.
So it brings us to why we're asking this question, because
Yes.
we're aware that there is this work that can be done to completely avert the crisis that we're facing now. So why is the government not looking at doing it, one? And then the states that are affected, why aren't those state governments also talking about this situation? Because I was also going through the history of this, and I realized that, okay, you can actually take care of this problem and we would not have the situation we're having now in River State, in parts of in Delta State, in Bayelsa State, and many other states. And this will come every 10 years at this magnitude.
If I may quickly answer, exclusive list is the problem of the states. The states cannot touch any of the dams. The same thing like the dam in Oyo that has the power to generate 9 megawatts, even though I know it can generate more than that. The state government cannot touch it.
Before you go on exclusive list, can I just say something, Baba Jala? Because it's quite easy to hide under exclusive list. And the same exclusive list was what a lot of our governors have been hiding under. Because I talked about the issue of security. The issue of security, Amoteku could not have been set off, but for the fact that Hisba police was set up in the north. Now, because our governors try to tell us things, or the state houses of assembly tends to tell us this is exclusive list. I have my house and something is not right and I'm going to be flooded. I do not wait for a piece of paper to tell me to do. Now, I would expect the 6-8 Yoruba states governors, Kogi, Kwara, with the 6 Western, to come together and say, because Kogi state will suffer it the most, Kwara will suffer it more, Oyo, Osun, Lagos, they would also suffer it. Can't they come together, band themselves together and say, okay, listen, we are going to build this, whatever infrastructure we need, damn the consequences of what the federal government would do. And that alone can force either a constitutional amendment or something. It feels like the governors themselves are just dancing around politicking rather than really serving the people. That's my take. I don't know. Maybe.
I agree with you. But the summary of that is it's going to create a constitutional crisis, which will lead to the dissolution of the country, and which is what I support. Because because let us go back to one key word: we are an amalgam. Yeah. And if an amalgam is not working, then it starts dissolved.
I mean, a lot of companies shared their excesses, operations and corporations that's not working. Yeah. And then they shared it away. So if Nigeria is going to be our problem, can't the 6, 7, 8, even Edo Delta State, making 10, come together and say, we must do this, damn the consequences. Because, when the 12 states...
we go.
Yeah, when the 12 states of the North said they were going to bring Sharia in 2001, 2 years after democracy, they said they were going to do it. And they said, if you don't give us Sharia, we are ready to break out of Nigeria. And they damned the consequences. They brought in the Sharia. They said the Sharia is only for those who believe in Islam. But when Deborah was killed this year in around Easter, Deborah is not a Muslim. She didn't subscribe to Sharia, but she was given Sharia punishment and she was killed. So is it that our politicians are just being lazy, or our people are also being lazy and not standing up for their right? Because majority of them are looking now for another 4 years of punishment, or perhaps another 8 years of punishment, thinking one politician is coming to help them?
I think we have come to a point where the people themselves need to be decisive. We need to begin to, our leaders. I always don't like to use the word leaders for them,
Thank you.
They don't. I mean, if you call yourself a leader, then it means you have something you're doing for your people. You're leading them the right way, and they are definitely not doing that. And so, I think we have gotten to a point where the crop of leadership that we should be throwing up in the Southwest, if we still have a country called Nigeria in a couple of
Well, I don't think Nigeria can survive with all these massive problems. I think Yoruba people should rise up. I've got
we've come to that point.
Yeah, from Samuel Yabayo, he said, "My spirit has departed from Nigeria. We need to focus on Yoruba sovereign nation. It's not too big a dream."
Thank you.
So we see a lot of people. It's just we can't sit here and keep complaining that this or that is the problem. I think our people need education to understand that majority of this problem stem because we as a people have been wrongfully glued to some other sets of people, and we provide 70% of the resources Nigeria is utilizing today. We provide over 70%. So when our people are scared that they cannot eat if we leave Nigeria, I think it should be the other way around. They should be scared for themselves and their lives and the lives of their family because they are in Nigeria. So our Yoruba people need to understand that
we need to educate them.
Yeah, problems like this would continue except we band ourselves together and tell our governors, this is not the direction we want. Because it seems if the governors are scared and the traditional rulers are also scared, I think the people who are the owners of the land, this is the time for them to rise up and stand up and demand for what belongs to them. Because getting a sovereign, a lot of nations have done it. They've demanded for their sovereign nation, they've gone ahead and they've actualized it.
Yeah, I think even we already forgot one other dam that is uncompleted in our land. A very big dam, Ikeregoj Dam. Obasanjo started it. He said he handed it over, told us in our group, because we've been in touch with him over the years. He told us that he handed it over to Shagari to complete. It only required, but at the time he handed it over, 50% completion had been achieved. Shagari, how many years ago? Then he himself got there.
Again, he could not touch another 8 years.
Hold on, I'll tell you why he couldn't touch it. He raised the case, but the ministry in charge refused to follow up. Who are those in the ministry? They have these Fulani people.
So why cannot...
Hold on. Wole Soyinka has said it, that 1,000 Southerner being president will not change that country.
Change anything. And a lot of people are thinking...
The ministry is dominated by the North. Right from 1976, when this man sacked all the technocrats in our ministries, those high-level technocrats, and unfortunately, who happens to be from the South. And then replace them.
It will bring me to the same. Danjuma is back on the news again. I think about yesterday or 2 days ago, they were installing a new king, and it was security. So it feels like it's from one problem to another. Now, Danjuma raised this issue 4 years ago in his lecture in Taraba State when they were graduating students. He's raised it again. Genocide, and this is ongoing, and it begs the question. When Akeredolu came out last month and saying he's begging the federal government to give them up permission to protect themselves, to protect his people.
The word beg is what I hate.
Yeah, he was saying they should give him approval to arm Amoteku to be able to protect lives and property. Let's listen to Danjuma and hear what Danjuma
Before
is.
We listen to Danjuma, I want to add to what you just said. At the same time, federal government has approved that the security outfit in Katsina State should carry guns, and they were provided with guns immediately.
Yeah. So
and that was the time Danjuma and Akeredolu now said he wants guns from his place. He should not beg. He should make an assertion.
Exactly. So I think there are a lot of things
I don't understand.
Yeah, there are a lot of things our people should begin to we need to reenact that Egba analogy, where every man had the opportunity to carry gun and protect himself. Let's hear what Danjuma said.
Composed of various ethnic groups living together reasonably peacefully. But the peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and of course in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. The ethnic cleansing must stop in Taraba State. It must stop in all the states of Nigeria. Otherwise, Somalia will be a child's play. I ask every one of you to be alert and defend your country, defend your territory, defend your state. You have nowhere else to go. You have nowhere else to go. God bless our country.
Yeah, I know he's talking of a country. I don't think Nigeria exists as a country anymore. It's just
that's the problem. That's the problem I face with these speakers.
Yeah, but let's
he was economical with his choice of words.
Yeah, Danjuma has been in power. He's been in power at the helm of power. He helped to enthrone the Fulani oligarchs we have in Nigeria. But one thing I want us to pick out in what he said is, yeah, he said we should he said defend yourself, defend your land, defend your state. I think we need to be calling our Yoruba governors, our speakers, our Yoruba representatives, our Yoruba politicians, even though they are not leaders, we need to be calling them and putting them on the spot that their responsibility is to protect the lives and property of everybody in Yoruba land.
Yeah.
And they have that mandate. Akeredolu or Sanwo-Olu or Adeleke that is coming in do not need permission from a Buhari that is non-existent to protect the lives and property of our people.
And he does not even need the permission to order for guns. Then that should be the places of the red line to call for, you either allow me or we pull out of Nigeria now.
Exactly.
And
so
that is it.
For them fighting for presidency, saying presidency must come to the south, when that changes nothing, because Obasanjo was president for 8 years, Goodluck was president for 6 years, and they can't tell me that if Obasanjo could not even enact a law that will protect his own villagers in Owu, and Goodluck, after leaving presidency, is having his house flooded because he's failed to build a dam, and we have Bonkri and stealing of our resources in large quantity and taking them to abroad. Now, I think our people needs to hear a message. Maybe Dr. Adesoya would help us. How do you think we get into the hearts and minds of our people? Because the sad thing is, a lot of people who call themselves self-determination leaders, and I don't use that word lightly, self-determination leaders, who are now standing in podiums in London, they have no voters registration to vote, they're standing in the streets of London and endorsing Nigeria and calling for restructuring. I think it is pathetic. How do we get to the hearts and minds of our people to say, we have a voice, we have a case, let us use it wisely and let us use it to achieve the result that will be forever, not just a temporary result?
Let me address this issue from T.Y. Danjuma himself. Suddenly, T.Y. Danjuma is beginning to get his voice. It is unfortunate that, like you rightly said, he has been in power since, the 60s. He was one of those that the Fulanis used, to stabilize themselves in power. And while they were doing that, the willing tools, he was one of the willing tools, never knew what agenda, yes, the Fulanis had. And they were busy there enjoying the lagis, enjoying, all that has to go with power. Now, I tried to go to Wikipedia, look at, his history. He got his higher school certificate in 1958. And in 1959, he enrolled at the Nigerian College of Arts, of Science and Technology, Ahmadu Bello University. And in 1960, he left the university and enrolled in the Nigeria. That means he didn't, complete his, yes. Now, that was what the Ahmadu Bello went doing in the 50s, and 60s. If you remember, there was a time they said that President Buhari didn't complete, he didn't have a school certificates. He actually got into the secondary school, but he never completed it. Why? Because the Sardauna was going to schools, and shopping for yes, who they will conscript into the military because of their agenda. And so they did that to the willing tools in the Middle Belt. They never knew the agenda, but now, even when they knew, he was busy amassing wealth. T.Y. Danjuma was busy.
Even T.Y. Danjuma that is talking has oil block in the Nigerian.
Yes. Can I tell you the size?
He
1,000 square mile of oil block.
Of oil block in
1,000 square miles.
So when they tell you they are protecting Nigeria,
1 year he made $1 billion. He said he didn't know what to do with the money.
Yeah. When these people come out and say they are protecting Nigeria, they are actually not protecting Nigeria. They are actually protecting their land.
Protecting their own interests.
Yeah. And now it's coming home to roost.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is that not only protecting, he felt that he's made a big mistake. This is not the first time he's talking. If he actually came to make a reportorial to the government here some years with one of my friends, Mr. Obaseki, who tells me also, I know a lot of all those men at that level, but I don't want to be tainted with their money because I've been tempted many times. They told me, well, you see, Nigeria must work. Just the same thing. I don't know if you saw the Guardian article on Nigeria by one professor from Mr. Dacron from is it Oxford or Cambridge, was saying that a working democracy must be installed in Nigeria.
In fact, some people say effective democracy, and I say, which one is how many democracies do we have? Do we have up democracy, down side democracy, and under democracy?
You see, these are the things we have to educate our people with. Yeah. Democracy and the election, they are not the same.
Exactly.
They are not.
But we make law and keep it down, and then we don't follow the law, and then we say we are democratic. I mean, I don't understand. Even the military, we are doing better.
The flooding problem had been documented way back from the 1950s, and that actions must be taken to make sure that they have seen that at some point there'll be excessive rainfall. All these projections have been there. Although internationally, some people deny it. Unfortunately, or something, unfortunately, I studied this field in my time. And it was interesting. And I looked into even the geology of the land on which we are, where there are artisan basins or the groundwater sources that could, even where you don't have rivers, you could just tap into the soil. But not like the one we are doing in Lagos, perforating the whole of Lagos to feed the Akperagase. These are things that we should understand. Unfortunately,
it's crazy because Baba Jale, you spoke about the waterworks, and it's really sad. Yeah. Because where I was born in Lagos, there was tap water that came right into our house, not just
into the house.
Yeah, and something around the 90s or the year 2000, all of a sudden, water never flowed, and even the water that flowed, you can't even use them. Because maybe you have constant power outages, so pumping the water is a problem, and then maybe B, the water is not even coming anymore from the waterworks. Now we've got series of problems here. I think even the Fulanis, they don't even know what they want to do with the land, because if they really wanted the land for themselves, they will not let the land have this series of problems. So we have banditry, we have flooding, we have lack of job, we have no food, we have I'll just take one parting shot from Dr. Adesoya. A lot of our people will still be looking and thinking, oh, maybe let's make Nigeria work, and trying to go for election 2023. What message do you have for our Yoruba people? Because they need to understand that election is not the solutions to all these problems. It's just an accumulation of the problem, of a deeper problem we are not foreseeing. Let's get a parting shot from you, Dr. Shea.
Yes, thank you, Mr. K. Like I think Baba Jala said it the other time, you go to the agencies, you go to the ministries, every strata, who do you find there? I mean, so you see, there is no political solution to this problem.
And there is no even practical solution or physical solution.
So I think we have a lot of work to do getting to our people to let them know that the only solution is for us to be independent. How about independent, as our own country state?
I mean, we did a lot when we had our own self-rule. when they say go and rule yourself. That's an independence we threw away.
But unfortunately, we threw that away because some of our people felt they were the know-all, disabused the opportunity. And
So,
it's sad.
because of our time, one last parting shot from you, Baba Jala.
The answer,
for those who are still hell bent on Nigeria,
the answer
what's
is
the way forward? We have a lot of victims now.
Yeah, the answer is for us to open our eyes to see that we are better off as an independent, sovereign nation, so that we can now kickstart our development from the grassroots, from the villages, to control our waters, to bring pipe-borne waters into our homes, electricity, agriculture, and all that follows it, including research and development. And we opened one of the most famous school of tropical agriculture in Akure again, and all other ancillaries that will follow it. Without this, we are going nowhere. We are going into slavery.
Thank you very much. Our viewers at home, I'm just going to encourage us. We've heard what the so many wise words our panelists have said today. Maybe we should take the anger of the flood, the anger of the insecurity, the anger of the hunger that is in town, ravaging our people, to rise up in unison and tell our legislators, our governors, our councillors that enough is enough. There is nothing more they can do for us. We know a lot of people are victims. What would appeal to those who are well-to-do is to lend a hand of support to the many victims who have been displaced either by the flooding or the insecurity that is on the ground. Before I go, let me just say we couldn't start our YSDM dialogue last week. We're hoping, due to technical reasons which have been resolved, we are hoping that this would come on air tomorrow. I believe the time is 8:30. So if you're listening to us, if you could try and join us, we are hoping that it will be a live call-in session. So if you have any question or anything you want to share or anything you want to understand about the Yoruba self-determination movement, that will be your time to bring your questions, and hopefully we'll have people who will be able to answer it. Until we come your way again next week, remain blessed.
Thank you. Self-determination should be.
kéré o gbogbo ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjìrì ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri àgbáyé ẹ máa gbọ́ ètò yìí Yorùbá self-determination movement dialogue, ètò ìfọ̀rọ̀jomitoro ọ̀rọ̀ nípa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni. Níbo ni ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti ń bọ̀, níbo la dé dúró, níbo la ń lọ, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe é tí kò fi máa ké bí eku nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, tí yóò fi máa ké bí ẹyẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, tọ́mọ èèyàn fi máa fọhùn bí ọmọ èèyàn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó dọwọ́ èmi àti ẹ jẹ́ ká parapọ̀ kájọ gbélẹ̀ Yorùbá lárugẹ. Sẹ́ni tó sọ lẹ́nu onítọ̀hún sàkóyà kọ́ni. Yorùbá self-determination movement dialogue, a ó máa rí ètò yìí wò lórí YSDM Global TV, YSDM YouTube channel, YSDM Facebook page. Fẹ́kùrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ pè nọ́mbà yìí +44 744 21 77 677 tàbí +121 5206 766 5. A gbé ètò yìí kalẹ̀ fún ìtẹ̀síwájú àgbéga ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni.